All the predictions for Survivor Series War Games right here on WWE, starting now. Episode 32, WWB Wrestling with a Business. All of our predictions for WWE Survivor Series War Games going on right now. Quick episode, guys. Obviously, we're through the holiday week, and not only here at WWB, but I'm sure you guys hopefully had a great Thanksgiving and a great holiday. But here at the studio, we also take some time off a lot of the shows this week. So it's just going to be a quick episode, just kind of quick going over some of our predictions for Survivor Series War Games, which is going to be later tonight. So I'm shooting this right now on Saturday. But a lot of things happening this week. We had a lot of comings and goings in the wrestling business. Will Ospreay going to AEW. We had Ronda Rousey making a surprise debut at Ring of Honor, basically AEW. So I don't know what's going on there, but Jeremy, Matt, and myself, I'm sure are going to be diving into that this week. I would fully expect a extended episode coming out later next week, episode 33 of Wrestling with the Business. So hopefully we'll have that for you to kind of go over everything post WrestleMania Survivor Series, all these returns and debuts and stuff going on. AEW just signing like crazy. We all know my frustration with that. It just continues. It's like, I don't know, the whole Ronda Rousey. I'll dive into this Ronda for a minute, but obviously Will was a big hit. I think WWE was obviously pursuing him. AEW was pursuing him. I'd love to find out what the details were that made him go to AEW over WWE. But obviously, the biggest surprise to me, which just doesn't make any sense, was Ronda Rousey. I mean, I don't know if she just didn't have a great experience with WWE towards the end, but to me, the idea was that she was leaving to spend more time with her family, maybe with AEW or Ring of Honor. She's not traveling as much, so she can only do selected shows. I don't know what the deal is with that. That whole signing just didn't seem to make any sense to me. But, we'll dive into that with Jeremy and Matt later this week. But let's go over our predictions. The Diva Belt is on the line. Now, I don't have Jeremy's predictions. So, let me see if I can get him to send it to me real quick as I'm live here doing the show. So we have a couple matches right now. So really only 5 matches for War Games. Now, I got to imagine Survivor Series War Games. I got to imagine that these matches are going to be... Obviously, they have the 2 big tag matches. Pretty much are 4v4s. I got to imagine those are going to take up a substantial amount of time. If I had to guess, if you're looking at... They can try to get 45 minutes to an hour out of each match. You figure probably... 10 minutes for the entrances. I think they're going to milk a lot of things like entrance times and promo videos to try to extend this out. I'm guessing to be a 3-hour pay-per-view would be my thought. But we have Gunther and The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark for the Women's World Championship. We don't know who's doing that one. And then we had the big men's War Games match: Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton versus the Judgment Day, and Drew McIntyre. We have Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. Then we have Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and then Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. So we have a lot of I know I botched at least one of those names. So we have a lot. We only have 5 matches. So obviously we have the Survivor Series is classic on the big teams battle. So it's the best of whoever survives the survival match itself. So you got to expect the women's and the men's matches. No Randy or no Roman Reigns. Kind of a shock, not a shock. No Roman Reigns in there, and really only 2 belts on the line. No tag matches. No, I know there's a lot of champions kind of intertwined in some of these, these big tag matches. But one thing that I see with this pay-per-view is I see a lot of storylines coming out of this pay-per-view. I think a lot of things will happen in these matches, especially the tag matches, that will lead to 4 or 5 matches down the road, maybe even at WrestleMania. I mean, you look at something's going to happen here where, I feel like, we're going to have some future storyline. This is one of those pay-per-views when you put these many people, especially in the men's and the women's matches together, something's going to happen where, it's going to lead to more storyline. So let's kind of go over Gunther and The Miz. I believe Matt put the Gunther on this one. He did. I'm going with Gunther too. I really want The Miz to win. I love to see The Miz win. I don't see The Miz being the guy that's going to dethrone Gunther on his, I think I'm shooting from the hip here, 500 plus days as the Intercontinental Champion. So he kind of has his own streak going underneath Roman Reigns, but I don't see The Miz being the guy that's going to take the belt away from Gunther. I do believe something's got to happen soon for Gunther to lose the title. If he's really going to progress to maybe potentially taking it from Roman Reigns or some kind of World Heavyweight Championship storyline, with Seth Rollins or someone else, I think he's got to give up the Intercontinental belt at some time. I know Matt was very big on it'll be champion versus champion. He'll give up the belt if he wins. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll lose the belt before he does that. The other championship match is Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark. Rhea Ripley, come on. And I'm pretty sure Matt did that too. Yeah, I mean, Ripley's going to win. Ripley's Rhea Ripley right now is probably the hottest thing going in WWE right now. She has a great storyline. Her character development is great. She has the brand new Women's World Championship. I think that storyline and her with the belt is going to go quite a ways. So I don't see her losing that anytime soon. The next one, I'm going to skip the 2 tag matches to the end. Dragon Lee, Santos Escobar. I'm going Escobar. I think Matt did the same thing. Escobar. So right now we're going down the road, 3-3. We're both the same, Matt and I. I just think that this is one of those matches where I just don't really understand it. It might be just a time filler. But I'm going to go with Santos Escobar on this one. Let's go into the Women's War Games match. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, Io Sky, Asuka. I'm going to go with, what did Matt say? Matt went with Bianca Belair, Flair, and Lynch. I'm going to go with a heel for one of these. So I'm going to go with Damage Control on this one. I think they're going to play dirty. I'm going to go opposite of Matt so we can make this Divas match a little interesting. I'm going to go with Damage Control on this one. I feel like, and I'm going with this because 2 ways. Because Matt also selected the faces to win the men's match. Rhodes, Rollins, Uso. I don't think faces are going to win both of them. So I'm going to go with Damage Control because I do believe that the faces on the men's side are going to win. So let's go with Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi, Becky Lynch for Matt. I'm going to go with Damage Control for the women's match. As far as the men's go, we have Cody Rhodes, Seth frickin' Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton. They return, apparently, of Randy Orton tonight. Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. I'm going to say Judgment Day and these guys are going to lose to Cody Rhodes, Seth frickin' Rollins, and the rest. I think Randy Orton coming back. I think there's going to be a lot of push on the faces on this one to win. So I'm going to go with those guys, and Matt's going with them as well. So that's going to be an even draw. The one thing that is drawing up a lot of speculation is that War Games, Survivor Series War Games is in Chicago. So right off the bat, it's hard to say the word Chicago without saying CM Punk. And CM Punk is fresh off his release from AEW. Obviously, a lot of speculation about him signing with WWE. I mean, he's obviously not going to sign with AEW. He just left. So the only alternative really is WWE. It is Chicago. One could argue if he was to return, it'd be in his hometown for more of a buzz. There's a slight chance. I mean, look, do I think CM Punk is returned to WWE? Yes. I think, however, he's going to return at Royal Rumble. The only thing that's really catching my eye on Survivor Series is that it's in Chicago. And I do think that gives it a little bit of a bump in percentage. If I had to shoot from the hip on this one, that's my saying for this episode. I'm going to say no, he's not coming back tonight. I say he comes back at Royal Rumble. A surprise entry into that, because that's going to really give it a lot of buzz. But, it's hard to say we're going to skip over the Chicago crowd, and you got to imagine they're going to be chanting CM Punk the whole night. Doesn't matter if it's Randy Orton coming out or not. I mean, CM Punk chants are probably going to be over and over and over again tonight for Survivor Series. So that's going to be interesting. I texted Jeremy. I didn't get a response back, so I don't know what the ruling is going to be on the Divas belt. He may get it by default if he doesn't reply back. Unless he gets it in before the actual pay-per-view. I think we'll allow that. But that's this episode of the WWE Wrestling with a Business, episode 32. Again, a shorter one for this week with a holiday week. Our taping would have fallen on Thanksgiving. And as you know, our studio and store are busy for Black Friday. So it's hard to kind of get us in to get it filmed this week. So a shorter episode this week. We'll be back this coming week, episode 33. We're going to go over the Will Ospreay signing for AEW. We're going to go over Ronda Rousey, everything, the fallout of Survivor Series, and much, much more for the week. So until then, adios.